good evening, depending where you're watching from. Hi. So today is going to be an interactive section as usual. We are going to be talking about the advantage and disadvantages of living abroad. You heard me right. So, hi. Hello. Hi. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. So today we are going to be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of living abroad. So if you're joining me for the first time, this is Chris Santos Investment. We do our live once a week and preferably on a Saturday where we talk about different health diagnoses, trending news, and so on and so forth. So some people have messaged me to talk about some diagnoses, which I will be talking about maybe in my next three sections. But for today, just a very quick section, we're going to be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of living abroad. You heard me right. So we are going to be moving, we'll dive straight into it. So now, imagine waking up tomorrow in a country where you don't understand the language, the food is unfamiliar, and you know no one. Would it be exciting or frightening? That's the question I want to ask you guys. Obviously, a lot of people will say frightening, yes. And then we all know traveling or relocating is not something that you just wake up in the morning and just do. It's something that you would want to plan ahead, and then make sure you've got everything in place. Also make quite enough resources in place to make sure your destination country, for those people that are traveling with no hope of a job yet, they need plenty of time to be able to cater for themselves until they get a job and start getting paid. So if you're in that category, it involves and a lot of planning. Not just that, there are other criteria that need to look you need to meet criteria that you need to meet as well to be able to secure your all your traveling stuff, documentations, and all that. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, today is Saturday, as you know, from the part of the world I'm resident. So it's sunny and the weather is just normal, as in normal, not cold, not hot, just normal. All right. So now, today I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of living in a foreign country. Yes, you heard me right. Foreign country. So you may disagree some of the points, but this is just my own research, and I'm not far from the truth. So today, like I said, we're talking about advantages and disadvantages of living in a foreign country. Many people move abroad to work, for work, education, or a better quality of life. Living in another country can be life-changing experience if you handle it wisely. Okay, however, it comes with some challenges which everybody need to be made aware of. So it's not as if like it's rosy, rosy, rosy. Once you just pack your bag and leave your country, wherever the other country, destination country you're going to, you just feel all is rosy, rosy, rosy. No, it's not. So one of the advantages I will just highlight quickly is exposure to new cultures and tradition. When you travel to a new country, you should understand that we have what we call new cultures and tradition that you need to adhere to and get used to. So we also have opportunity to learn new language through daily interactions. Yes, that one is absolutely true because the things, like I said in one of my videos, some of the terminologies you use back home in your country might mean something else here in the other country you're going to, or can be something rude as well, or can be something not relatable. So you have to drop those ones that and abide by the destination country. You take care, honey. Love you. Bye. Drive safe, honey. All right. You look good. All right. So there's no one on TikTok. Encourage your viewers to share your life. All right. Nobody is on TikTok. It's not like TikTok. By this time, there'll be a lot of people on TikTok, but I don't know. And my computer is hanging as well. I don't know. I don't understand. I will lock the door, ready to. Hi, thanks for joining, guys. So I'm just gonna wave at this gentleman. Hi. Oh my God, your surname, I really can't pronounce it. It's so super hard. So I'm trying to fix TikTok. I don't know. Unlike TikTok, by now there'll be loads of people here, but I'm not seeing anyone. My life goal is on. Um. Okay, so I think folks are joining now. Where were they? All right. So we have So it's not been easy to relocate, guys. So there are a lot of things that one needs to put in place. Encourage your viewers to, let me just say hi. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I've just literally typed hi. It's not even coming up. I don't know why TikTok is like this. You can't even just do something and just get on with it. So no online viewers yet. Oh, I don't know why. It's not like by this time there'll be lots of people here. So it's just only a few people on TikTok. Anyway, that's fine. We just crack on. It's just going to be a very short section. Anyway, 7 minutes. So, guys, so having said that, we also living in a foreign country can offer valuable experiences and opportunities for growth, but it also requires patience, adaptability, and resilience to overcome the challenges. There is a lot of challenges, honestly. There, if you've not been, you think it's rosy, rosy, rosy. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of challenges. There are a lot of things you really need to like get rid of, overlook, and move on. Else, you'll be changing job like every week because it's really hard. You'll be moving houses, you'll be changing jobs. You won't want to chat with anyone. So there's a lot of challenges outside the book. There's a lot of challenges. So it's something that one needs to be very, very careful. And I'll say hi. So I don't know what's going on. There's nobody on TikTok. Encourage your viewers to send gift and thank them for their support. Adjust setting. Frame frog detected. Turn off camera for smoother video. Adjust setting. I don't know. No online viewers yet, but there's somebody here joined. This is not like TikTok, honestly. Anyway, so we are 8 minutes into the section and we'll just crack on from there. Unlike TikTok, honestly. By now there'll be lots of people here. Yeah, people are now joining. Hi, thanks for joining, guys. Just joining in and out. Wow, today is Saturday. It's not like then. Anyways, noon. All right, so guys, let's just crack on. So, having said that, we are going to explore quite a few points. Say, for example, the personal development. One of the advantages are personal growth and increased independence. So you already know that's a self-explanatory. You know what that means. Yeah, you can travel abroad to go and study or for greener pasture. So all those ones falls under personal growth and then increased independence, development of adaptability and problem solving skills. So that's another reasons why some people travel, meeting people from different background and building international friendship. That's another one of the advantages as well that you get when you live in a foreign country, different from your country of origin. So experiencing, you are also expanding professional network and career opportunities. So if you go and live overseas, you are 100% sure that you are going to be expanding your professional network and career opportunities. Also, you'll be experiencing different food types, taste, festivals, lifestyle, background, and so on and so forth, culture, values, and belief. So these are the other things, other advantages that you will also come across um when you relocate to a foreign country. Then also we have gaining a broader perspective about the world. If you've not been to a place and you keep hearing it on radio or on paper, you might think it's just like, it's just like it's just normal. It's just a regular place. Some places aren't just regular. Hi, Francis. Good day, ma, and happy weekend. Hi, happy weekend. Happy weekend, Francis. So we're just talking about advantages and disadvantages of living in a foreign country. So in as much as a lot of people back home in Africa wants to japa, it is also good for them to know the advantages. There's quite a lot of advantages living abroad, but there's also disadvantages as well. So it's not just all rosy, rosy, rosy. So when anybody traveling overseas should have a lot of things in place, and also bear in mind that as you're coming, there are challenges that you need to face. So not everybody faces all the challenges. Some people face very few challenges, but it's very important we let the people public know that there are challenges as well. So it's not as if it's rosy rosy all the time. So I've mentioned quite a lot of advantages, but some of the other advantages are gaining broader perspective about the world, and also improving communication and intercultural skills. Okay, because these are people you're mixing up for the first time. You are learning their culture, you are improving in your communication as well, and also you are gaining skills on what the normal norms for them. And then also, if you're living abroad, like back home, people say, oh, people know the NYC, people that go for NYC, they'll say, I have I've just finished my NYC, but there's no job for me. Here it's not like that. Abroad is not like that. You must get a job. The maximum you can wait without a job is 6 weeks. That's 6 weeks. The reason why I even said 6 weeks is because of your references, your PVG checks, and all that. The reason I said so is another factor is because, say for example, you arrive into the country, you don't have a job, but you have people that can link you up to all the job sites. If you have someone that can link you to all the job sites, or you go to Citizens Bureau. Citizens Bureau is an environment, is an office that attend to people that need support. So if you're in the country, you don't know where to go, just Google it, the Citizens Bureau nearest office, go and speak to them, tell them your circumstance, you're new in the country, you want to look for a job, quick job that you can find. So literally they can use 1 week to apply for the job for you within a week, to apply the job for you, or give you the site, you go back to your hotel room or to your apartment and apply for those jobs. If you apply for those jobs, let me say you spend Monday to Friday applying for that job, there's possibility that the Monday to Wednesday, by Thursday, Friday, people will pick up the emails, and then they will book an appointment for you for the following week. Once that is done, then the other 4 weeks, I said 6 weeks, the other 4 weeks is just to do your PVG, PVG check, your references, and your triple SC registration, and so on and so forth. So within 6 to 7 weeks, you should be able to get a job if you're new in the country. Within 6 to 7 weeks, or let me say maximum within 8 weeks, you should be able to get a job. So that is why it is recommended when you're coming, just don't just think when you come today, tomorrow you start work. No, you need to do the proper documentation process to get a legit job, and that will take at least up to a maximum of um 8 weeks, which is 2 months. So that is why you need to have enough money within yourselves when you're coming, and to make sure that the money that you have, your maintenance expenses, is able to sustain you, pay your rent. Here they pay rent on a monthly basis. So it's able to sustain you, pay your rent on a monthly basis for that period of 2 weeks, 2 months, when you get a job. And remember, when you get a job in 2 months' time, which is the 8 weeks in 2 months' time, you have to work the 4 weeks to the end of the month before you get your wages. And some employees, what they do, when you work this month, you don't get the wages that month, you get the wages the following month. So that is why you need to have enough money in your account to sustain you until you get your first job when you relocate abroad, and not just getting your first job until you get your first wages. Very, very important. Baby Nash, hi. Olivia, thanks for joining. I appreciate you. All the people that donated stars, I really appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate, honestly. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Okay. Thank you so much. So very, very important. Before you travel overseas, there are a lot of things you need to put in place. If you are coming for study, you need to meet up the criteria before you get your CAS letter issued. You need to make sure you meet the criteria. If you're writing your exams, make sure you also meet the criteria as well. Your English exam, very, very important. If you're coming from a non-English speaking country, or whose country that English language isn't their first language, some countries that English are their first language as well, they still write English exam as well. So you need to understand that fact. So all those criteria needs to be met. And also, one of the advantages of living abroad is, um, like for me, I feel security wise, it is 100% great. Your door can be open. Nobody's going to come into your house and rob. It is absolutely amazing. Security wise, 100% living abroad. And also healthcare as well. For me, I really value healthcare as a health professional. I really value healthcare because I just feel even the poor should be able to have access to healthcare facilities. Nobody should just buy ignorantly due to lack of money to sponsor their medical bills. So I'm so passionate about anything that has to do with healthcare. So that is why that is my greatest. That's my top on the list. Healthcare. Then we also have, like I talked about, the employment. So there is always job for you. There is always job for you. If you're living abroad, there's always job for you. So unlike other part of the country or a world where graduates are looking for job, you see some graduates, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, they're unable to get job. They will end up being fashion designers or tailors, or some of them will start selling a, restaurant, or start doing maybe one linear business or the other just to put food on their table. So living abroad, you're guaranteed a very good job. Every job here is dignified because it's either paid in dollars, pounds, or euro. When you convert it in your country, it's a lot of money. So that is why job opportunity here is great. You must get a job, except you must get a job, except you don't want to work. But why will you want to come to a foreign country and you don't want to work? It is just bizarre. If you don't want to work, then stay in your country and farm. But if you want to travel abroad, then be willing to work. Sometimes I know the weather can be very cold, chilly, you don't want to go out, but then that shouldn't be reason for you not wanting to work. So very, very important that you so these are the advantages. And then also, another advantages I would think about is the staying abroad. Hi, thanks for joining, Zach, Ivano, and Opong, Kiki. Thanks for joining. So, another advantages of living abroad is you are just you can never uh, die of starvation. There are so many facilities made available for the poor. So if you're on a low income earner, you can, if even if you don't have food, the government will be there for you. You don't have your energy bill, you're unable to pay your energy bill, or you've run out of electricity. Support systems are available 247 that will always be there for you. So these are temporal measures. It's not something that you just rely on solely. No. If there's any crisis or emergency, you are 100% sure. Say, for example, you are in the house, you have cardiac arrest, you phone 999, straight away the ambulance will be in your house within 11 minutes. How amazing is that? So these are the benefits that we, living abroad, you get. Once you dial, if you are in distress or if you are caught up in somewhere, you are being attacked, you call the police, immediately they are there. If your mobile phone get lost on the public bus, you just phone the company of the owners of the bus transport. They will look for your mobile phone. Nobody will pick it up. And that is how good it is. Although we have bad people as well, I know, but then your mobile phone can get missing in the bus by mistake. You phone the company, they'll go back to where you sat. If you describe the position you were seated in the bus, in the public bus, they can go there and check. They will see the mobile phone and they'll keep it safe for you. They are so honest. Not everybody though, but majority are. So these are the other advantages that you get. Like I talked about the job opportunity, which is great because the aim, I believe, of everybody traveling overseas is to have that um, greener pasture, educate themselves better, and improve in their intellectual skill, and also improving their quality of life. How do you improve your quality of life? You by working, you need to work and make money and change your life around. So that is why it's very important to have a focus before you relocate. You don't just relocate because everybody's relocating or because your country is too tough. You have to make up, tell yourself, what am I going to achieve? What are my aim of traveling out? So if you think your aim of traveling out is not something valid, then stay back in your country. Hi Gladys, thanks for joining. So another advantages of living in a foreign country is access to better education, employment opportunities, which I've said in some countries, and then the major one is the health care. You can imagine a pregnant woman, she will be looked after by a midwife until it's time for delivery. If she's to have a cesarean section, elective CS, she'll get involved through the process. There's no complications, you everything is smooth. At the end of the day, you have your baby, you're 100% sure, you're not frightened, you're not scared. You're not one of those some African countries doctors that are just treating people on based on ChatGPT info. No, they are not being careless. They are very, very educated and they know what they are doing. So you're 100% sure that if you're unwell, you get the best treatment. There's nothing as amazing and reassuring as that. So you don't just see careless death unnecessarily. That is not possible. Having said the advantages, there are quite a lot of advantages living in a foreign country, like I said. Um, we also have the challenges, as say the disadvantages as well, and I will mention just a few. This is not I'm just putting out a disclaimer. This is not to I'm not making it to any country, but it's just in general living abroad. So even if you are in Canada and you want to live in Nigeria, so you will still face the same thing as well. So hi, thanks for joining. So one of the disadvantages of living in a foreign country is you're feeling homesick and missing families and friends you've left back home. So when you initially come to a new country, definitely you will miss your family back home. When I mean family back, because back home, your family can visit you unannounced, but yeah, everything is by appointment. You can't just visit a friend without telling the person you're coming. You can't visit your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother without letting them know you're coming. You must phone them to let them know I'll be in the house so and so day. Not even so and so day. You have to specify the time as well, so people prepare for you, because everybody here is working and busy. Nobody wants to like spend the whole day waiting for one visitor coming anytime or he or she likes. No, people wants to know if you're coming 2 o'clock and I can have a long lie, get up at 12, have my shower, tidy myself, then get ready for you at 2. But if you're coming at 6, I can sleep more, wake up, go do shopping, come back, make sure I'm home for you arriving at 6. So everything is by appointment. Very, very strange, but then you got to get used to it. And then also difficulty adjusting to new cultures or social norm. If you're in a country, say for example, like for me, when I traveled overseas newly, I didn't realize that when you go to the supermarket, back in Africa, when we go to the supermarket, we buy things, we just walk straight to the till and just pay and walk away. We don't obey protocols. Like, I don't know whether it's changed now. We don't obey, say for example, there's line, there's a queue. We don't obey all those queues because I can't remember where there's queue. I just go to the till, I pay, you know. So, but yeah, you have to be on the queue. So I didn't know that. So so these are the things that you really need to get used to, and make sure you adapt to the environment quickly, the social norm, and it's difficult adjusting to a new culture, to be honest. Hi, Rita. How are you? Good afternoon. Hi. Hi. Thanks for the stars, guys. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. Hi, Saga. Hi, Abida. Nice to meet you. Hi, Precious. Nice to meet you. So, living abroad, living in a foreign country can be homesick. You can feel homesick, or you can be missing your families and friends back home. And it is what it is, but you just have to move on. If your aim of coming is for a greener pasture and to better improve your quality of life, the difficulty adjusting to new cultures and social norms. When I mean new cultures, you're coming in a place where the language is slightly different from yours, and even if they're speaking English language, they're quite quick. They're very when they're speaking their English language, sometimes you struggle to understand because they speak really quickly. So you also want to be in that pace, want to be able to understand them, it's quite hard, but it's something that you get used to over time. We also have what's called the language barrier that makes communication challenging. Say, for example, for most of us that are from Africa, that we've got accents, and when we speak, a lot of people here, they can just tell you, "Oh, I can't make out what you're saying." They struggle to understand us because of our deep, accents. But that's our identity. We can't change who we are. So when you're speaking to these people, you really need to understand that there's a language barrier here, and you try to adapt their culture. You're not copying the culture, but you're adapting the culture because give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Obviously, you are in their country, and you want to do everything you can to improve your English language, and also you to make sure you speak in a manner that you'll be able to understand, and also listen attentively so when they speak you can also understand them. If you can break communication barrier, I think you can break every other thing. Hi Gladys, thanks for joining. Hi Gift. Hi Omolola, thanks for joining. So if you're able to break that language barrier, it goes a long way, really, really long way to help you adapt into the system. I know sometimes it's just like sometimes you feel shy, sometimes you feel isolated. Oh, why are they always, whenever I speak, the old people, some people can be very rude, even at workplace, some people can be very rude. When you speak, for them to like politely say, "Oh, I didn't make out what you said. What was that you just said?" They start rolling their eyes, they start looking at each other, make you look like a fool. So it's really, really bizarre. But then, try not to take a lot of things personal because if you do, you really can't stay here. Honestly, there are a lot of things that you see and you can't raise your voices. But if you do, that will be classed as assault. You can't raise your voices, you can't retaliate. There are a lot of things you really can't do. So it's just boiling inside your heart. So that is why you just need to like as quick as you can adapt to the culture of the environment of any country you're going to, and before you leave your own country to any new country, understand the dynamics. What language do they speak? Like me, I have been to Germany, and in Germany, because they speak their language. Although I had my app that was able to translate, but I knew I was going to struggle living in Germany. I was only in Germany for holiday. Then in Italy, everything that has to do with this, Italy is good because I worked for an Italian company for 9 years, so I have a bit background about Italian. But then I still have my app that I use in communicating. But then although being resident in Italy is not something I would really struggle, but initially I would still struggle. Like the basics for me, I know the basics, so I can start with the basics and then climb my way through. But it's really hard for Netherlands, they speak their language. Germany, I've been to Netherlands, they speak their language. I've been to Germany, they speak their language. I've been to Paris, they speak their language as well. So, Paris is good because they speak French. French is quite, no, not too difficult, easy. But then, if you are resident there, going on holiday is different. But if you are resident there, obviously, before you leave your country to this country, you need to understand that there are basic homework you need to do. How will I communicate? How will my kids communicate in school? Because you if you have kids already, especially if your kids are born in those countries, fine, because they are born in those countries and they end up speaking the language of that country. But you see, if they are if they were born back home and you're bringing them, they already speak English and you're bringing them. English language is a language that they speak in every school. Like my kids, they speak English and they are trained to speak Spanish. So the choice is yours. You have to speak two languages, English and one, or English and Italian, or English and Spanish. So the choice is yours. So they do that in most developed countries as well. So you're not just speaking just your own home country, you still speak English as well. If you're an English country area, you speak another country like the Spanish or French or Italian. So it makes the kids to have that linguistic skill. But then, if these are kids that maybe you've had in Africa, they are coming into, let me say, they're you're going to resident in, let me say, France. If you get to France, they register these kids in school. For the first few years, they're going to struggle because they'll be struggling to understand, to cope because they speak French in the class, in classroom, so they will have to do extra work to cope. And then you can imagine your kids failing French in every term. You will not be happy, you know. So they will go extra mile. But if they are born in the country, as they are working as toddler before they get to toddler stage, before they go to nursery, they already start speaking the language. So it's very easy for them, you know. But then if their kids are already been born elsewhere in another country, you are moving to the brand new country that doesn't speak the same language like English language. This case, I'm going to struggle. Even yourself, some of these countries, one of the criteria for the job is you must be speaking the native language. So if you're not speaking the native language, then certain job opportunities will bypass you. So that is why when you are relocating, you really need to know, hi Joy, nice to meet you. Hi Joy, hi Juliet. So you need to know the dynamics, what is going on in that country, the language they speak, the currency they use, what is the cost of living there, the house rent there. Because initially you're not just coming to buy your own house, you have to come and be renting until you buy your own house. So what are the criteria? What are the a lot of things you need to put in place. So you don't just carry your bag and travel overseas. Else you're gonna be hanging from hanging left and right, except for the single that want to hang out with friends. But if you're a family person, you really want to move with your family, you really need to make sure you get all these facts in place and make a thorough decision. Then there's another thing I want to talk about here about the disadvantages of living in a foreign country. This language barrier that makes communication challenging is what I have just mentioned. Language barrier can be a huge thing. You can be a banker back in your country, you come here, you want to be a banker, but because of your deep accent, they will not take you. They won't take you. I'm telling you the gospel truth. They will not take you. So, but they see your accent as hard to understand. To you, you speak really good because these are your people. They understand you. But you know, when you are coming to a new country, they will have to struggle to understand you because they're not used to your accent. So it's normal. That has nothing to do with racism or whatever. It is what it is. They don't understand your accent. Your accent is probably our accent is probably strong, is deep, and our pronunciation is different. You know, say somebody is saying, "Hi, boss, I'm getting on the bus." So these are two different things: BOSS and BUS. It's being pronounced differently here. But me, because I've got a strong accent, I pronounce it the same. Hi, boss, I'm on the bus. You know. So these are little things that when you say, they'll be looking at their eyes and they're rolling their eyes that will annoy you. Also, we have to go possible discrimination or feeling like an outsider. So some people will just see you, you know, it's so bizarre. Some people will see you at work, they'll say, "Where are you from?" You know, "Where are you from?" They just want to know. When they say, "Where are you from?" Like some people ask me as well. So even till date, "Where are you from?" I just tell them, "I'm from Scotland." They tell you, "Oh, we Scottish, we're not black, we are all white." You know, a lecturer has literally said that to me. You know, has asked me, "Oh, by the way, where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Scotland." She said, "Oh no, we Scottish, we are not black, we are white." A lecturer said that to me in a open hall. I felt offended, you know, but what can you do? If you keep getting offended and keep reporting people, you keep reporting people, you nothing will come out of it. They would rather see you as a complainant, you know. So rather than complaining, you just keep quiet. Some people you just ignore them and just move on with your life because some people can just change, honestly. So it is what it is. So there's elements or possible element of discrimination or feeling like an outsider. Say, for example, let me give you an example. You can go out for a meal with a group of friends in a foreign country that you are resident, and maybe amongst all the people that have gone for that meal, you are the only colored person. Believe me, they have a lot of things to talk about that you literally will not want to get involved. Maybe that's their holidays, you've not been on holiday, you don't have any thing to talk about. Or they're talking about their family, you don't choose to talk about your family. Or they're talking about one thing, or they all know what particular person they're talking about, which you don't know. You know, so you end up being quiet in that conversation, you're not talking, and they are just talking. So it's not, it, you don't have anything to say. So, and sometimes, you know, when you're doing things, you feel that indirect isolation, you've been side outlined, you can feel it. If you're not here, it's hard to explain. But if you're here, you can feel it. So that's why before you travel overseas, my dear, you need to have very thick skin. When I mean thick skin, yeah, thick skin in the sense that when you notice and you have that self-awareness, when you notice anything of or anything around what I've just mentioned, just add that thick skin and move on. Do not let anything to bother you because it's not worth your time. It's not worth your peace. So we'll be finishing in 30 minutes time, guys. So that's not only this thing, possible discrimination or feeling like an outsider. Very, very important. So there's a whole lot I will go into the details. And don't forget, as a foreigner, you pay a lot of tax. Very, very important. They will tell you, oh, everybody pays tax. Yes, everybody pays tax. But then some people pay more tax than the other. So it is very, very important for you to know. Don't think when you are working, your wages say £2,000 and then you get £2,000 home. No, you must pay tax because the tax money that you pay is being used to maintain public roads in school and the healthcare and so many other things. So that money basically is what they call the taxpayers' money. So that's what they use in doing most of the renovation, keeping the road nice and clean, keeping the hospital equipped and all that. So you must pay tax and it depends on the how many hours you're working. So there are different stages of tax code. So if you are the type that are working doing different jobs, then you'll be paying more tax because you're doing different jobs. So you need to bear that in mind. So the more you work, the more the tax man gets the money. So that is why you need to be very, very smart and then say to yourself, do I really need to do this? So the choice is yours. Having said that, we also have what we call the high cost of living in some countries. In some countries, the high cost of living is expensive. Like for me, I find Scotland cheaper than living in Switzerland. I find Switzerland very expensive and Holland very expensive because the holiday we went on holiday to Holland, from Holland to Switzerland, then Germany. I find Switzerland more expensive, so followed by Netherlands, then Germany. I find it's just average. So it depends on you as well. So these are the things. Some countries are more expensive than the others, and some countries you don't get as much benefit from support system. Some you do, but I think majority of us were quite fortunate, you know. So these are the things you need to understand: the high cost of living in some countries, and then we also have difficulties finding suitable employment at first. That one is 100% true because every employment overseas, like I said, before you leave your country of destination, if you feel your country is not working, you know, me, when I left my country, I was working in an oil company, so I was doing really well. But then when I left the job, I got another job in another oil company as well. But I made up my mind to say, you know what, I just need to leave, you know. So my wages was good at the time, but I was glad I left the time I left, you know. But then if you feel your wages is not something that you can hang on to because of inflation, and if you feel you want to travel abroad to give yourself a better living, it is absolutely acceptable. But bear all these things in mind. Don't just get carried away by, oh, I've got a visa, oh, I've got the transport to buy my tickets. No. If you come here, if you have children, like I said in one of my videos, childcare will humble you. You need to make provision for childcare. Don't go, except you're going with your mom or your dad that can help you. Like my mother-in-law was helping me looking after my kids at the time, you know, and they are so rest in peace. But then, if you're not fortunate to have a very good mother-in-law that will come and help you will struggle with childcare. You will struggle, you know. So it's very, very important that you make all this provision. You just don't, you can't just come with kids without making provision for keeping extra money aside for childcare. No, you must keep extra money aside for childcare. Else, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. I'm telling you, you're going to struggle. Majority of us that do our masters here and our PGD and went ahead to do our certifications. It's not easy. You have to every lecture you're going to, you have to pay for childcare. So anybody picking your child from school, you have to pay for the person. They don't do brother and sister here. So that is even people from your own village. When back home in your country, people from your village, you see them as brothers and sisters when you meet them here. But yeah, even if you see your people from your village and they're looking after your kids, you still have to pay them because it is their time. So it's not as if they've done anything wrong. You don't expect them to do anything free for you. No, because time here is money. So that is why it's very important to make provision for yourself. So apart from, we also have, like I said, difficulty finding suitable employment at first. When you come to a foreign country, I advise people, if you're a banker or a company worker in your home country, do not have that mindset that when you come to a new country, you start off by being a banker as well, or you continue being a banker, or you continue being an oil company worker. No, no, it is really far from the truth. You need to start from somewhere, even if it's just cleaning job, you just have to do it. For cleaning job, you see it easily. For care job, you see it easily. For hospitality job, you see it very easy. For environmental job, you see it very easy. But you see, if you want to focus on, I'm an oil company worker, I'm a banker, I was a bank manager, I want to continue as a bank manager. For where every job here, you must rewrite another exam. Even if you're a nurse back home or you're a doctor back home, you come here, you don't just go in as a doctor, it's a lie. You must go and write your OSCEs, so, and you must pass those OSCEs. You understand? Then you get registered. Then you now apply for the job. Then you now get the job. You now start doing references, PVG and DBS check and foreign criminal police check. All these things take a long time. So that is why I say give yourself, have enough money in your account that will last you for up to 2 to 3 months. Because that 2 to 3 months, give yourself that you are looking for the cheapest job ever. The available job. By the time you finish getting the job, do your paperwork, that time frame is suitable for you to start a job, and then at least work until you get your first wages. So that's why I said 3 months. Give yourself 3 months from the day you step your feet into a new country. Give yourself, if you are very quick, give yourself 3 months. By 3 months, you will have gotten a job, started and end your first month income by the end of the third month. So that is why you need to be very, very, you need to prepare and before you come. So finding suitable employment at first can be challenging. So that is why, like I said, when you come in here, if you're a colored person, you need to speak to other colored people around. Oh boy, madam, I just came into the country last week. I'm looking for, do you know names of agencies I can register with, or companies I can apply for jobs? They will link you. People that are honest will link you. Say, oh, apply for this job, apply for this job, apply for this job. They'll give you links. Say, go home, apply for this job, put your phone number. And remember, you have to get references as well. So before you leave your country of destination, speak to reliable people that you've worked with. Tell them, I'm traveling overseas. I may be needing your details for reference. Because if you're into the country for the first time, you don't know anybody within the country except maybe your school. So normally they will ask you, let your school give you one reference in the country that you're resident in, either your school if you're a student or your church if you're not a student, to give you character reference. So at least, yeah, they have one reference within the country where you're starting a new job, and then one reference in the country where you're coming from, which would probably be your employer, previous employer. So all these things takes time. So any job you see, I will encourage you, maybe just care job, domestic job, or environmental hospitality, or Amazon job, just go for it. Every job here pays you minimum wage. When I mean minimum wage, that is the agreed minimum rate, just like they have what they call the minimum wage payment in Nigeria. So that is what the minimum wage here is. So you get paid the minimum. Any job, any of these jobs I mentioned, they'll pay the minimum wage. So you are not losing. You are actually still making money. Every job here is dignified. Every job here is dignified. So there's no job that is a less job, or there's no job that is a very high job. No, every job is dignified. That is one beauty about it. Then also challenges with immigration laws, visas, and paperwork. Before you leave your country of destination to the home country you're going to, like I said, you have to define where you're going there for. Are you going there for students, or are you going there on a skilled work permit, or are you going there for one thing or the other? So you need to specify what you're going there for. If you're going there as a student, you need to also understand after your student period, What will be your aim? Are you returning back to your home country, or do you want to stay back? What are options available for you? Do you want to use post study to stay? If you are using post study to start your post study, you need to think way in advance, because at every stage in the country you are, you must never be illegal. The moment you are illegal, even if it's just one day illegal, it affects your stay. It affects your next application. It affects everything about you. And don't forget, when you're doing your immigration renewals, it's quite expensive. You have to pay for your renewal. If you have dependents, you have to pay for everybody. And these are very, very expensive. And also, you pay for immigration surcharge, I think, like for the health care. So, all these things are expensive, and you have to pay your solicitor fees. So, these are really, really expensive, you know. So, if it's just yourself, it's different, but you are paying for yourself, immigration fee, lawyer fee, immigration subcharge, application processing. It is not easy. Multiply by the number of dependents you go, you know. So you need to, and also immigration laws changes every now and then. So you need to get yourself updated to the newest policy, you know. So you get to, you know, cut short. By the time you submit that, you say, oh, this is now updated. This thing has been scrapped. You're not being caught in the air, you know. So you have to make sure you are doing everything right. And then the paperwork as well, you're using the right form to apply. So you're not just going to waste your time and money and energy putting in the wrong application. No, you need to make sure you fall in line. Very, very important. And then lack of support system when facing problem. That's another huge disadvantage here. When I mean lack of support, say for example, you have a major problem, like not even any major problem, you can call on the government, they can always support you. There are so many support outlets, NGOs, non charity organizations that help. You know, it says, for example, your energy cut off, you don't have electricity in your house. There's support line you can call. You don't have food and drink in your house. There's another people you can call. They can always support you with food and drink. They can supply you, or you need furniture. They can supply you for free. All this is for free. But then you see, say for example, you're facing problems like in child care. Nobody can help you in that situation. You have to fix it yourself. Even if you have family, friends, your friends can just help you. They can just help you in one off. But then, in the long run, you have to make it provision for yourself for childcare and all that. So you know that feeling of isolation is always there. You know, so you have to make sure that there's lack of support. You know, support system when facing problems like that. So that is why you do make keep extra money aside for contingencies or sundry expenses. So for emergency spendings, you know. Then differences in climate, food, lifestyle that may be hard to adapt to. Like for me, when I left my country many years ago, I cannot do without swallowing of eba. You know, I love rice, I love eba. These are the major things I really like. So traveling overseas where they eat sandwiches, they eat salad, it's not something I was really used to, you know. But you just got to adopt. You adapt into the system. You know, you just get to adapt what is available and just move on with life. You know, until you just see. By the time you know it, you get used to it as well. Their meals here are very healthy. They are green. They are natural food. It's really good. But for me, that I've got that habit of, you know, having my local made food. You know, I'm so used to it that if you're the type that you're used to the local meal, obviously it's gonna be like it's gonna be a huge difference for you. And also, like for me, I get really cold, so you won't believe that in my house the heating is on 247. Except during summer, I don't put the heating on, but if not, I put it on majority of the time of the year, you know. And my energy bill is so expensive because I put the heating on 247. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because it's very important for us to overlook things, but then try not to overlook majority of the things when you really want to relocate with kids. For yourself, you can overlook certain things and manage, but if you're with kids, you really cannot overlook. You know, you can't, because you have to give the kids a priority. Every mother wants the best for her child, and every father, I would imagine, wants the best for his or her child. So very, very important. You please make sure you get that sorted. Then differences in climate. You know, like if you're a resident, if you're going to Canada, obviously you know the weather is very, very cold, minus degrees. So you need to be well equipped and be aware. So if you're the type that is like me that is cold all the time, you are going to struggle in that kind of climate, you know. So you need to put these things into consideration and ask yourself, do I have to go to Canada, or do I have to, if you do I have to go to UK, do I have to go to Australia, do I have to go to America? Yeah, so you know about the gunshot in America. So you can ask yourself, do I have to stay in America? There are gunshots in America. Does not mean people are not living in America. There are a lot of people living in America as well. You know, we have knife issues in London. Does not mean there are people not living. There are people living there. We have snakes in Australia. Does not mean people are not living in Australia. A lot of people live in Australia. So you have to make a decision and tell yourself. Like for me, I love very calm environments. You know, my estate is really really calm. I just love it. You know, I love really calm environment. I don't like unnecessary noise. You know, so if you're that type, you can just go outskirts of a particular country and go and stay quietly, you know, peacefully, you know. That's what you want, you know. So you have to put this into consideration. The weather, climate is very, very important. So you don't go there and start falling sick unnecessarily. Okay. And then the food and the lifestyle there. The lifestyle there is something that you can adapt to. I would say yes, go for it. The emotional stress during adjustment period. During adjustment period simply means it could be when you're coming to the country for the first time, you are adjusting, you know, that emotional stress, you know, your you know, if you say for example you want to catch the bus, but obviously you will not be driving that initial time, so you'll be catching the bus, you know. Yeah, if the bus is if it's 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock the bus leaves, you know. So you have to make sure everything is routine, you know, timed. And if you're, you know, a lot of people from Africa, we know we don't keep to time, you know. So say for example, we have a meeting, you have an appointment, chicken appointment for 2 o'clock. You know, we can go there for 4 o'clock without apology. We just say, oh, it's traffic. Yeah, there's something like that. Once you miss your appointment, you miss your appointment. So there's not like African man time. So you really have to struggle fitting yourself, train yourself quickly to meet up with every appointment. Say, for example, your kids' school start for 8:30 in the morning, and you're taking your child to school for 9:30. You get pulled up by social workers. You get serious issues with social workers. You can't miss their routes, honestly. So it's not a situation. It's not. It's a very awkward experience that you don't want to trade with, because they will just the teachers will involve social work. They involve the police, a lot of people get involved, and the meetings of community you attend for just that bring your child late to school, it's overwhelming that you wouldn't want to put yourself in that situation. So you really need to struggle. You need to emotionally, you know, struggle to make sure you are not stressed unnecessarily, and at the same time discipline yourself to meet to time, to routine. You know, if your lecture is 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, it is 9 o'clock. You don't just leave your house 10 minutes to 9 and you feel 10 minutes is enough to take you. You're getting catching the bus, man. You need plenty of time to get it. So you need plenty of time to get leave the house, plenty of time to get to your other destination. Okay, so these are the few points I will make, and then also it is very important to understand that living in a foreign country can bring many opportunities for growth and learning, and that is no doubt. At the same time, it requires patience, flexibility, and resilience. In the end, the experience can be both challenging and rewarding. So it's really good. It's really good for you to. It's really good, honestly. If you really want to relocate, it's a very good idea. To be honest, if you feel your country it's not meeting up to the standard of living that you really want, or if you feel there's a lot of insecurity in your country, one advantage here that we have 24 hours like electricity, you know, uh, basic amenities you have them, although you are paying the tax and they use that, but then at least you're paying for it expensively and you're getting it. So it's different from some countries where you're paying for NEPA bill, but you don't get light. And the moment NEPA comes, the next day they'll come and cut your light. You know, literally you pay for 1 month NEPA bill, light never came, light came a day today, and tomorrow they're coming to ask for another NEPA bill for the next month. So literally the one you paid for, you never used it, and nobody cares. No, when you live in a lawless country, you know, lawless country, you find out that living abroad sometimes is the only option available for you, because lawless country, like you're driving on the road, policeman will just see you. stop your car because you're driving a Benz or Lexus. They will just stop you, or because you're using iPhone, or because you have iPad, your kids are using iPad or laptop. They will just stop you, tag you criminal, or you're not even safe on the road. You're traveling by a road, you get kidnapped, you have to pay ransom. On the ransom, you still get molested, you get abused, some of them still get quite in the process. So when you talk about insecurity, if you're experiencing insecurity in your country, it's a very valid reason for you to relocate, because everybody wants to remain safe. They don't want to be living in fear. So that's why one of my videos I done last week, say no to workplace harassment. Workplace harassment is common if you're a foreigner. Honest to God, whether you believe me or not, it is common, because as a foreigner, a lot of these people, they see us like, I don't know whether they see us like people that adapt, but they forget that the least of us are master degree holders. So we coming here is not because we choose to come and stay here and suffer, or to come and become slaves. No, we came here to also contribute to the society by paying our tax, and we're also here to also improve our education, our communication skill, and also improve our standard of living. Improve our quality of life. So we're not just here because we chose to come here to become slaves. So some people, that's why I said, say no to workplace harassment. Work in any country you're going to, don't have that self-awareness, and do not trade your identity for anything. Do not bring down yourself to any level. When somebody wants to play that risk card, give it back to them. Just ignore them completely. Just pretend they never existed. Because the more you start to feel intimidated, feel having that low self-esteem, before you know, you will stop communicating. You just go silent. By the time you know it, fear will come into you. By the time you know it, you start making mistakes at work. So you really don't need any of all this. So when they give it back to you, give it back to them and move on. Look straight. Or if you don't want to give it back to them, do not even respond to them. Just try to once, because I believe, for me, I have that self-awareness in the sense that when I walk into a new organization or company or team, the first 2 weeks I study human being. Within the end of By the end of first week, I know everybody's attitude in that place. I know the good ones, I know the genuine, I know the gossipers, I know the pretenders, I know the racist ones. So I know everybody. So I try to stand tall, and I don't let my confidence to be affected, because once your confidence is being knocked down, that is you finished, because you'll be walking in fear. When you're walking in fear, it's very easy for you to make mistakes, and that's not what you want. So that's not what you want. Okay. So very, very important. You look after yourself and don't let anybody joke with your emotions. And because you're a foreigner, don't let anybody reduce you. You're a human being created in God's image. Any country you are, stand tall. And the way you keep yourself, that's the way people accept you. Don't use your tongue and joke with somebody, anybody. Just make sure you do the job you're being asked to do, and do it perfectly well, and then don't let anybody bring you down. Don't anybody, but a lot of people some of us see us like less than human beings, and that shouldn't be. And then majority of the workplaces do not relate such, but then who are you going to report to? Because usually people you're going to report them to are their pals, their friends, them to brush under the carpet. So you don't want to go through that cycle that also she reported me or he reported me, to start targeting you. You really don't need that kind of energy. So just try to stand tall, know what you want to achieve, and go for it. Okay. Always believe in yourself, remain true to yourself, and everything shall be well. So if you're out there still struggling where to go, you don't know how to start the journey, ask yourself what do you have. At this stage, I don't know. I'm not asking about the money. I'm asking, what qualifications do you have for you to be able to travel? You want to travel overseas? You want to travel abroad? If you feel your country is a country that you can stay and do business and flourish, go for it. Okay. A lot of people back home, they do better than us that are overseas. I can't lie to you. We work, we get paid in foreign currency. I know when we change the money is a lot of money in our country back currency back home. I know, but then there's no freedom here. There's no freedom. You can't just wake up to somebody's house unannounced. But they can wake up to your sister's house. You see, hey, welcome. They'll do food for you. You eat. But yeah, it's not like that. Nobody send your papa. If you like, it should be Jonathan, or if you it can be Donald Trump. It's for your pockets. Yeah, everybody are neighbors. You can be a neighbor with the prime minister. You can be a neighbor with another house of rep member. Nobody's anybody. It's the same house that you bought that he bought. So the same block of houses that you bought. So nobody like say it's the same car he's driving that you are driving. So there's no competition here. Nobody but just live their life. I think it's a very modest way of living, But at the same time, there's no place like home. People back home, I feel they enjoy quite a lot. You guys, a lot of people that are back home, they are enjoying because yeah, literally, I don't see. I know security is there, healthcare is there, food, drink, everything is there, good roads, electricity, everything is there. Good jobs. But then, literally, you are walking, walking, walking. You are literally just walking, home, church, walk, home, church, walk, home, church. So you really don't have a life of your own. Okay? You go to work, then you go to church, you come back home, you go to work, you go to church, you come back home. So if you're the type that is schooling from work, you go to school, from school to church, church, you come back home. You go in 3 or 4 cycle and 4 angle. That's just it. You really don't. There's no families and friends to visit. Yeah, even if you have friends, you have to let them know. Sometimes you can have friends 2 years you've not seen yourself. So you're just talking on the phone. You can't visit each other because the time you're free, your day off can be that person is working. So there's literally no life here, except you have to have every gadget in your house. Either you're playing games or you're doing gym in your house or you're doing social media or you're doing what's not the other to keep busy or you're sleeping or you're watching Netflix. So social wise, people back home they really enjoy. The only thing we enjoy overseas is just the security, good education, good road, good lights, good jobs, which is what everybody wants in life. But socially, I think people back home they live really well. And the houses here are quite small as well. But back home, you see our living room very massive, our bedroom very massive. So back home, people live at large. People live large. So that's why the politicians back home they don't want to leave the country because that is the only place they can embezzle money and spend. Yeah, you can't just spend money unnecessarily. If you spend money unnecessarily, you get called where you got the money from. They have to review see all your bank accounts to see if that money was laundered or not. So it's now everything is being checked. So that is why everything is being checked. You understand? So I remember one of my bank accounts was closed down because of I was doing akawu. You mean by akawu? When I came here, I didn't know I didn't know what it was. So I was doing akawu. So everybody was paying money to my account. So everybody was paying their money to my account. Then the money I'll take it and give to one person. The next one they will pay out, give to one person. And because I was very young then, so they saw that too much money in my account. I can 10 people be paying huge amount of money to my account. Then I'll take the money give to one person. So when they called me, I explained to them that they involved the police in that incident. They thought it was money laundering. I went there, I explained to them that in my place we call it akawo. Akawo simply means plenty people will contribute money and give to one person. That person will take the money and give to. We have rota. I showed them the rotation. All the people that are paying the money, I showed them their names. They checked everybody's bank account, so they knew it was genuine. So at the end, because the police got involved, the bank called me, and after everything, you know what they said? They will close my account down. They closed it down. There's no amount of bill I did not pay. They said they will close it down. That they don't want that kind of thing going on. So me, Oyibo life, their life is so tough. So there's a whole lot of things, that we really can't do here. Things that we do in Nigeria that we see is normal, like akawo, as simple as akawo, is causing problem here. I was at uni when they called me that I'm needed at the police station. I was like, what have I done? That was my first encounter with the police. So I had to go and then they had to, on my way out, I told them I was at uni, so they came. So we met along the way and then I explained everything to them. And the bank now said I should come the next day. I went there and I think they saw everything and said it was genuine that this girl is just a very young lady. She doesn't know what this is something she does back home. So maybe she just felt she should continue it here, but uh they taught me lesson anyway. So it's something that it's not a free place to stay. You can't just do anything you like. You really need to make sure that you. That's why I said the culture, the norm. Things they don't do here, please don't do it. Things they do, that is what you would do. I know it's hard for a foreigner to come and adapt all those lifestyle, but then you just have to adapt those lifestyle for you to live peacefully. As long as good as you're living in a very nice neighborhood, you don't have problem with your neighbors, you don't have problem with the police, you don't have problem with anybody. If you're driving really well, holding your mobile phones and driving, you obey the laws. When you see traffic lights, people that are always driving back home, they're always rushing. They are horning unnecessarily. You can't just come and drive here and be horning your vehicle. No, you can't horn your horn. No, you can't just on. So you have to drive gently. You have to make sure when you see red light, you stop. You don't just go over red light because you get penalty. You get points and penalty. So there are a lot of things that you do back home that you're rushing. You see red light. In fact, I don't even know if there is red light. If there are traffic lights back home, but I believe there are traffic lights in some places. You see traffic light, you're still going. People are driving. Nobody's stopping for anybody. You have to have that culture and get to know the norms of the country and work by it. So don't forget, if you're traveling, visa requirement, work permit, and immigration policies can sometimes make living and working abroad complicated. So don't forget that. If you are traveling on your own, a solo traveler, it is fine. But then if you are traveling with your family, know that every of your dependents, when you're doing your renewal, you have to make sure the immigration visa requirement and your work permit and the immigration policies is applied to everybody. Everybody. If you are everybody's your dependent, you have to apply for everybody. If you are paying immigration surcharge, you have to pay for everybody. Like solicitor fee for everybody, and you have to pay for the home office fee for everybody. It is really, really expensive, extremely expensive. If you're a student, you're paying tuition fee. It is also really expensive. I don't know how much it is, but I just know it is expensive. So these are the things you really have to put into consideration. So it's not just, oh, I've got a visa, I'm traveling, I've got the ticket. No, you have to put these things into consideration, please. Okay. And I wish you all the best. For those of you that are still thinking to relocate, I wish you all the best. I hope this video does make sense and highlighted some of the advantages and disadvantages. And for me, I feel there are a lot of advantages traveling overseas. So for people that are saying don't come, I don't think they are being honest. It is okay to come. Like for me, I can stay here, work, and save a lot of money because I'm not a materialistic person. I don't believe I just believe in the basics. I go for what I need at the time, and that's it. So if you're the type that is also as simple and basic, you can save a lot. But if you're the type that every party you're there, you want to buy the highest gold, you want to buy the highest car, you want to do this, you want to do competition with all your neighbors or everybody on Facebook, sorry, you can't save. So you need to know what your aim of coming overseas is for what are your aims and then your goals, what are your expectations, and go for it. Okay. I wish you all the best. For those of you that need support, feel free DM me and I can give you one or two advice. But then pray over it and make your decision what you want to do in your life. If you want to stay back home in your country and invest, good luck to you. If you want to relocate to improve your quality of life and standard of living, also good luck to you. And I wish you the best in both ways. Bye. This is going to be the end of our video, and I will see you next week. Bye. Au revoir. Au revoir, everybody. That's the end of the video. Bye. Bye, Rita. Thank you for joining. Bye, Deborah. And bye, Francis. Bye, everybody. All the people that give me stars. I'm so grateful. Bye, Praise underscore Daz. Thank you so much. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. Share as real. Yeah. Here we go. So So that's 1 hour. Joseph, have you had your bath? Joseph, is that you? What about Josephine?
She's upstairs.
Is she? Not to come be so you go and eat.
When I was on the bed and I drooped my back a little. I looked myself a little bit. It was like my back was bending.
Your back?
Mm.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Did you miss me?
I did.
Hmm?
I did.
Did you miss me?
You did.
I was not home for a week. You didn't miss me.
You did.
What did Daddy say to you?
Nothing.
Hmm?
Nothing.
He said she don't miss me. Hmm?
No?
That's what she's talking about. She told me what Daddy said.
She's lying.
What did Daddy say?
She said that she needs Josephine's phone to call you so he can pay the house rent.
You want Josephine's phone to call me so you can pay the house rent. Says house rent is after. You should not pay any house rent. She's funny. She's funny, Josephine. I was like, Josephine, why is she calling me? She said she was calling me because she wants to. Josephine, she can't lie. Then she's calling me because she wants to come and say hello. That's what she said to me. She wants to say hello. That's what she said. I said, just that, just hello. She said, yes.
Mom,
Mm.
your video was already finished, but it just kept going.
Oh, my video, what was it?
I was just watching your live.
Were you watching it live?
Yeah.
So that's you here. So Josephine said that she wants to use her phone so I can pay the mortgage. I must pay the mortgage regardless. She's so funny. You didn't miss when I traveled, did you?
You